strongest part, the strongest attention to signing a contract, actually before you sign a contract, before you even get into this trouble with taking your house off the market and not being able to sell it for 3 months?
Sure. Well, you know, there's a lot of contingencies in this deal. And when somebody comes to the table and makes a bona fide offer on your home, you can see a lot of different things that could happen. One thing you're going to look at and talk to your realtor about where's this contract stand and where they are is obviously, as Brian discussed, there is 100% financing out there and there is 3.5% down payment. So sometimes somebody might not have the 10, 15% they're putting down, which shows they're very serious. But having a bona fide pre-approval, not a pre-qualification, a pre-approval letter from a bona fide bank or a lender that's local, that you as a realtor can have a good conversation with the other realtor about, are these people solid, where are they at? Maybe talk to the lender and say, where are they in the process? That's a great thing to see, to make sure that this person who's coming in, if they have a lot of money down, great, but if they don't, and they're just doing a regular FHA loan with 3.5%, are these people strong? Have they, you know, are they strong? Are they going to be able to get this loan? Realistically, I think there was a big rumor around there that there's no money to lend and it was impossible to get a mortgage for the last couple of years. It wasn't like that. As Brian discussed, credit scores changed and guidelines changed. There's still a lot of money to lend, so it's out there. I think where a lot of things do fall apart is the inspection period. So, you know, as a seller, I'd look for all your contingencies in the contract, from, do they have another home to sell? That's a big one, because that might not happen. Is there... what's the mortgage? Is there a mortgage date? How long is it? How much money do they have down? And then when you get to the inspection issues as a seller, make sure you understand that your home will have normal wear and tear to it, that there will be issues that come up from a home inspector, and be prepared to negotiate that. You know, if you have a clapboard home, the odds are there's going to be wood rot. So don't be shocked that there is. And that's where a lot of things fall apart. I think where things have happened in the past, because there's so much inventory, a buyer saying, you know what? I don't want to buy this house because the mechanicals are older, there is some issues with the house. I'm going to go on to option 2, 3, and 4 because there were 10 options. Now that inventory is changing, there might be only 1 or 2 options, so that's changing. But talk to your realtor, make sure the people are pre-approved, and this is real, and see what the contingencies are in the contract, because that can make a lot of differences depending on how long you're going to stay in this thing or how serious they are.
Right, and how risky a contract is. Thank you so much. Brian, I heard that some regulations are going to change soon. FHA regulations, some bank regulations. What are the regulations? What is going to change in the future?
FHA has put forward a lot of proposals. And I want to stress the fact that they are right now just proposals. They have to be approved by the government. So over the next few months, we are going to see some things, you know, coming out. The biggest and the only one so far that has been approved, FHA has always had what they call a funding fee. Okay, it's basically FHA's, which is a government, you know, run operation. It's their way of basically supporting or financing the loans that they insure. Okay, so they've always had a funding fee, and we've seen that increase over the years. Starting in April, we're going to see the FHA funding fee go from 1.75% of the mortgage amount to 2.5%.
Oh, to 2.5%.
Okay, so it is going to rise. It's not, you know, in most cases, it's not going to be the end of the world. So people are still going to be able to qualify, but it is something that's going to be an expense to the buyer. Okay.
Right.
Some of the other things that they're trying to do is maybe lower the seller credits for closing costs, possibly change the minimum down payment amount, but that's getting kind of pushed to the back burner. So FHA basically to remain valid, because there's so many people doing FHA loans right now, they need the money, and they're trying to figure out ways to not only make the money, but not hamper the forward progress that FHA has created. So
I see. So some changes.
Yeah. Back in January, the big change for everybody is the government has basically created a standardized good faith estimate. So now that when a client gets a good faith estimate, they can compare apples to apples, not try to have to figure out what each of the different fees actually mean. And it's regulated by the federal government. So it's kind of it's a little big brother, but at the same time, in my experience with it so far since January 1st, it has created an opportunity for a buyer to essentially know what they're getting into, and it's given them a great opportunity to shop and make sure they are getting the best deal.
Thank you very much. We have to wrap up slowly, but PJ, I have another question for you. So the market regulations will change. tax credit is running out. We have about maybe 70 days left. What do you think? What's going to happen? Can you wrap up in 1 minute? What's going to happen the next 6 months? What's your
Well, I wish
forecast?
I had a crystal ball, because that would be great for everybody. But I think, like what you said, with the tax credit starting to go away, it's going to be hard to see what actually happens come summertime through the rest of the year and then moving forward. But if you really look at the history of the real estate market, there's always ups and downs. We saw a really big run up into the 90s, the late 90s, and then all of a sudden the mid 2000, 2004, 5, 6, we saw appreciation of 10, 12%. That really wasn't normal. It always is kind of a 3-year down market. We've seen that come. We're getting through that now. I think you're going to see more of a historic market moving forward at the end of this year, moving forward, of a 1, 2, 3% increase in home value. And I think you're going to see that in terms of appreciation on your home value, which is normal. And it's great. You think 1% in a $400,000 house is $4,000 a year. And then I think you'll see that appreciation in units sold. So homes will continue to be increasingly sold every month, every year. But the appreciation on your home value and how many homes are sold in your marketplace will probably be more of a regular kind of cycle of 2, 3, maybe 4%. So I think throughout the rest of the year, you'll see a 1 to 2% growth, and the next year maybe a little bit more. And I think that's what we'll see in this area, and probably nationwide too.
So a very healthy growth.
A very healthy and normal growth.
Exactly, in normal growth, exactly. I think we are all very spoiled what happened just a couple of years ago, which wasn't a very realistic market. I think we all agree on that one. Well, we're going to wrap up. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, we will plan on our email address. If you have questions, you can email us at homechatwh@gmail.com. My name is Katja Dann. We work with people who are considering downsizing. We will help people through the downsizing process, help you to find a new home, all inclusive. It's a wonderful time to list your home, so don't be afraid. Give us a call. Our number will be planted in as well at the end. It's 860-214-6291. My name is Katja Dann with William Raveis. Thanks so much, Brian, for coming. Thanks so much, PJ.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you are able to, if anybody has questions, our number will be planted in at the end. And we hopefully to see you back next month. Thank you.